Are you ready to date? Do you even remember what it feels like to flirt with somebody? Do you even know what you like? I mean, I literally, when I started dating after divorce, my filters were so far off
Yeah.
from where I am today. And that was like 14 years ago that Jessica and I, separated from our husbands. And then we were like launched into the dating world, learning the apps. How do you flirt? What do
Yeah.
you wear? Are you confident? Oh, I do remember actually my first date was with a friend. So this is what we're going to talk about today is like what you learn, what you put out into the world.
And like what you think, what you need initially when you first start dating after
Yeah.
divorce
Yeah.
versus what you learn that you actually need over time
Yeah.
after you've kind of already gotten back into the game.
Totally. There was a guy who I had a crush on all through college. You know what I Michigan man.
That's right.
He knows he's Michigan man
That's
also.
right.
And he had found me on Facebook. So we're aging ourselves slightly because Facebook was new. And he was like so excited that he found me. And so we made a plan to meet up. And I was like, holy crap. This was in the summer.
Yeah.
Jessica and I separated from our husbands at the exact same time
Right,
because they were cheating on us with other women, May 8th, 2008. And I remember really important dates in my life, and that was a doozy. And he must have found me like in June or something because we went out, I remember, over the summer. And I was freaking out because it was Michigan man, but it was also safe because it was Michigan man. Like he knew me from my freewheeling college days and everything. He didn't come to my wedding because he was busy working, but we had been friends after college. And I remember going and I was so nervous. And he's like, all right, tell me what the hell's going on. And we drank and we laughed. That was like my official first date. So I stepped
back
in
into
a very
world.
comfortable way back into dating. And I didn't even know if it was going to be a date. Did try a few times to date him though. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think that if you have an opportunity to be set up, I think that for a lot of people, blind date, that was obviously not a blind date.
Well, people rekindle though with like old high school flames and stuff like that because that's safe.
I did that. I had a date with a guy who was like on my teen tour when I was 16 years old, and who was like sort of one of my first loves. I think if you have the opportunity to either be set up with someone or to have something like that in the very beginning, it is a safe space.
Totally.
It's a safe place to be. The likelihood of that actually developing into something long-term and serious is
well,
very
knows?
low. It does happen, but it's low, but you have to be able to manage your own expectations. But I think it's also about getting out of a divorce, getting out of a marriage where there's a 99% chance that for an extended period of time before the marriage really officially ended and you guys moved out and separated, you probably didn't have an active sex life.
And if you did, you didn't like it.
Weren't right. None of that was probably, the intimacy probably wasn't there. And so we're human beings. We all crave that touch and that sense of intimacy. And yet we're all so scared. Like now there's a new person who's going to see you naked. Like, how do you feel about
he
how
didn't
you
see
look?
me naked,
like,
just to be
no,
clear.
but I'm just saying, like getting back into the dating game, like you're excited about the idea of being able to like wake up this part of yourself that's been dormant for so long. For me, for both of us, initially, that was a huge need, a huge want and need for us when we first started dating after divorce, like kind of
not dating each other, dating other people.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But yes, feeling like we wanted to go out with people who thought we were pretty and were complimenting us and seemed sexually attracted to us.
Like boost our confidence, like remind you that you are pretty, like remind you of who you
that you're
were,
desirable, that
and
someone
who you
wants
are,
you,
and that you can have a conversation with someone. Like I was reminded, so I would think I was with him for like 4 hours that night, and I couldn't remember the last time I laughed so much with someone. And I walked in and he was like, "You're stunning." I can't remember the last time somebody ever said that to me. Certainly not my husband.
That's a great first date.
That was a great first date. And I think we actually talked about that on the podcast or something, because I told him that it was all about him. But anyway, like just for the purpose of getting your confidence up and somebody likes you and someone's admiring you and adoring you maybe in a way that hasn't happened for you. I know for me, for at least the last 5 years of
Yeah.
my marriage, if really ever much in my own marriage. So it meets you where you are, kind of like also gives you an indication of where you are right now. Because I did go on a date with somebody after that. I don't remember exactly when, and he went to hold my hand and I pulled my hand away
Like
to walk across
instinctively.
the street. I was like, I don't need you to fucking hold my hand. I can cross the fucking street by myself. Like,
Oh, but
what
it's
was
interesting that
that
that's
about?
right, as opposed to just feeling like, oh,
I
the sense of
needed,
intimacy of like, he wasn't trying to like guide you across the street necessarily.
I
He may have
know,
just
but I
wanted,
took
like,
it
a
as
sense of
like,
touch.
back off,
Okay.
leave me alone. I'm independent. You don't know when triggers are going to come up on dates. So it's good
Right.
to, have an
Get a
open
few practice
mind
ones out
and
there.
also kind of take your own temperature of where you are, what you can tolerate, all of it. But we're all about dating after your
Yeah,
divorce.
it's a
Practice,
necessity.
have fun.
But I will say, like, you really do have to manage your own expectations. So it's so, I am a person who loves being in a relationship. I love having a partner. I love having a significant other. There have definitely been plenty of times in my life where I haven't. Sometimes I've been okay with that. Sometimes I haven't been. But I think that when you're coming out of a divorce and you have been lacking that sense of intimacy and security in a relationship for so long, inevitably for a lot of us, that is something that we're looking for. And so you kind of start, you meet someone that you think is nice, and you kind of all of a sudden start letting it, your thoughts run away with you about what it could be and where this is going to go.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to tamp it down and just admit to yourself, like, this is just going to be for fun. And that doesn't have to mean promiscuous fun. It's just fun, laughing, being out there, having a good time, meeting someone new, like, keeping it light and easy. And by the way, that also helps you understand what your needs really are. Like, I think for TH and I both, the laughing thing, that's essential.
Yeah.
If I ever were to go out on a date and I wasn't laughing most of the time, that's not someone that I'm interested in seeing again. I need someone who's going to make me laugh all the time.
Right.
So you are learning on these
It
first
feels
dates
so
about
good to laugh, by the way, like
you
your
need.
face should hurt.
Yeah.
And another tip when you're getting back into it, not everybody needs to hear all the gruesome details. Like if you're on a date because you want to unload, then just know that person may or may not be interested based on your whole story. You want someone to evaluate you for you, and you want to evaluate them for them. So take the opportunity to learn about that person, their reason for divorce, and my reason for divorce certainly doesn't define me, and it doesn't define you.
No, but I do like to hear all the dirty details, but partially it's
but not to go on and on
No,
and woe is me and all that shit.
No, once
No, woe
someone
is
is
me.
woe is me, I'm
They're
out of
out.
there.
Yeah.
Because it's the attitude. I like hearing the dirty details because I do like to hear a general framework of kind of like what happened, what broke down. I do like to hear how they refer to and how they talk about their ex. That for me is a key data point. Are they the person who's putting their ex down and saying they're crazy and she's a fucking bitch and she's the worst mom and everything she does is wrong and they're fighting all the time? Like, you got to think about where that person is in their own mindset. That's not baggage that I want to have.
Right. And that also shows where that person is at that moment. Usually if someone's like in the throes of their divorce and everything.
No, I think that there are people who can be in a bad divorce and still, I think that's indicative of their personality. You were never like that. As bad as things were, you were not like that.
Okay,
so
I didn't know.
I just think that you can be in a bad situation and you can share that with someone in a way that doesn't make you an ugly person on the inside. And I think that when someone's giving you information about their past relationships, I think you can get a sense of, are they ugly on the inside?
Right.
And so it is a key data point. So I do like to kind of get into all of that, but I feel like, it's also interesting to be able to talk to people and see what their experiences have been, because someone who has relatable experiences to you also helps you kind of gauge where you are and how things are going.
I think for me, those first dates are really more about me, to be honest.
Well, they should be
100%.
to an extent of like, it's not,
it's the first date. If you have a good feeling walking away from that date, then you'll go out again and the conversation will keep going on. But like, how do I feel sitting across from this person? First of all, it doesn't mean I'm having sex with them, but am I attracted to you? Like, are you attractive to me? And then I'm all about the voice, you know that.
Yes.
I like made her like worried about the pitch of somebody's voice when I brought that up to her. That's like a turn off for me for certain voices. But you know, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
But take it as a learning experience for yourself, because everybody you meet in your life, regardless of getting a divorce, is a learning experience for you. And I don't mean to like discount, you know, a relationship you have with someone, but you have to extract things that you learned and connected with this person on.
Right.
And you can have all the other emotional things. So for me, I learned a lot from a lot of random people. Like, I don't like that.
Yes.
I don't like this.
That's what it's about. When you're first getting out there and dating after divorce, it really is figuring out what your new like deal breakers are and what your new wants and needs are, because things that you may have been dealing with in your marriage for however long, now's your opportunity to
change it up,
start new and to decide, is that something that I'm really willing to continue to put up with? And maybe it's not, and that's okay. I love that. I think it's such a healthy attitude about, and I don't think everyone can do what Teach just said, which is going out on initial dates and making it about yourself and thinking, do I like them? Does this make me feel good? Because I have definitely been on plenty of dates, and I know that a lot of you guys have too, where you're out and you're thinking, do they like me? Do they think I'm pretty? Like, are they having a good time? Are they going to ask me out again? And it's almost like if they ask you out again, you're just going to go because you're just so happy someone wants to ask you out again.
By the way, that's total therapy.
It's growth over time, because I definitely got to a point at some point several years ago where that's what it was like for me. Like, it doesn't matter if they ask me out again.
Right.
How do I feel about it? And that's where you want to get to. So keep that in mind as you're going on initial dates. It's hard to like not get lost in the excitement of the prospect of.
By the way, I've definitely gotten lost in the excitement that was barely a breadcrumb on the floor. And I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. English Muffin Man. I will not mention his name, but that's all I got was an English muffin that was probably stale and old. And that basically defined the entire quick relationship that we had. And I was hurt. There were a lot of relationships that each of us have been in with other people where we got really hurt. And I almost felt like he knew what I went through.
Right.
And that hurts more even because he knew and he still hurt me. But you know what? He didn't owe me anything.
Right.
I hate the word should. I didn't know better than to protect myself. I got suckered in to the excitement. It happens to all of us. But I learned like a good hard lesson that I needed to learn. So enjoy your first dates.
Yes.
Put yourself together, feel good about yourself. They could totally be a dud. She could totally be a loser, and they may not be good fits for you, but trust me, there is a good relationship for you out there. But the most important one is with yourself.
That's right. But what my big tip is, even if you start feeling like you're getting nervous or having cold feet before you go out on a first date with someone, particularly beginning first dates, you got to still go, because think about all the times in your life where you were too tired or you didn't really feel like going out. And that ended up being like the most fun night.
Right.
So there's that, but there's also, you got to get over the hump. You got to make yourself go. Consider your first few dates your practice dates. That's what Susan Winters told us.
Yeah.
Like,
she's awesome.
Some practice dates. That's okay. You know, just to kind of get your feet wet and get out there so that you can enjoy the process.
We're going to talk a lot more about dating and sex and intimacy and all that good stuff that you want to know about. You are watching Divorce Etc. on YouTube. I am TH. This is Jessica. We are the X Experts. You can email us at hello@xexperts.com, or you can DM us on any social media.
Or leave a comment below.
Leave a comment below. See you soon.